Hey guys, I'm here to talk to you guys about net neutrality. Let's start with this. What is net neutrality? Net neutrality is basically a system where the net is free and open. And what that means is that when Netflix, a very successful company, wants to post, or should I say upload video, they stream video, that's their service, they have to pay money to upkeep, have enough bandwidth, which is basically the space or the room that they have to upload things so that viewers like us can see them. But let's say that another person, maybe a new person, was like, I want to be a YouTube streamer. I want to make videos, or I want to edit videos, and that's what I want to do for my job or for fun or whatever is on his website. He would have to pay similar fees for net neutrality, or he'd have to pay similar fees to get his stuff on the internet and keep it on the internet. The problem is with an unneutral, with a net that is not neutral, the net Comcast or Xfinity or any other Time Warner Cable, any other big company can charge on both sides instead of just us. They charge us, the consumer, for internet speeds. But then they would also turn around and say, we're going to have three different, or more than three. I actually have a good picture of this here. If it loads anytime soon. Okay, so this is what it does. This is a little bit more in depth, but basically what it's going to do is it's going to sort each box is a package, what they're called on the internet. They're called packages, and they scan the package and say, oh, this is from Netflix, and Netflix pays us X amount of money per month or per day or whatever it is. They're going to go in the green fast lane on top, so you're going to get your loading, you're going to get your TV show or whatever really fast. But let's say the guy who wanted to make his own video is on the bottom. He's on the red. It's going much, much slower. You're going to have to wait, like it says slow line. Be ready to see that loading bar for a while. Let me just mute this here. Okay. So the issue is, this is what happens when we don't have a neutral net. We will have Comcast or Xfinity or whatever. They'll slow down other sites and take priority over the sites that pay a lot of money, or yeah, just usually pay a lot of money. Only corporations can afford it. So small business owners, anyone uploading on YouTube, although YouTube will pay for it because it's YouTube. Let's go back to the beginning. So this is what's happening. It was either today or yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was today. A representative party in our government voted on the issue of net neutrality. And I'm pleased to inform you that they voted to accept a list of rules regarding how a ISP, an internet service provider, can give internet to its customers, and they can't slow down or break or anything of these websites. They can't slow down these websites. But the issue is, a lot of people are saying there should be no rules at all. They shouldn't be able to do anything. They just don't touch the net. Just provide the internet speed you want, or pay for, or whatever. So a lot of people are upset that there has to be rules, or like that there is rules, but I think it's good personally because now the internet service providers have rules they have to follow to provide the net. The only issue is, another issue is the rules are not very specific. They're pretty loose. They don't have a lot of, they have room to breathe, so they can be discussed and argued and changed if necessary for the future. So I'm going to click. So this is what it is. So let's start with the facts. American people paid taxes for research and development of the internet. The internet is for everyone, and this is a special document that talks about that. Um, this goes into a bit of history about how the internet was originally formed. Like, what it is data is broken down into packets. So when you email a friend, if that ever happens, when you text someone, or not text because it's phone, when you send a Snapchat or a Facebook message, your data is going into a package that is basically addressed to Facebook.com. Facebook.com will interpret it and send it back out to whoever it's made for. And that's the whole thing with net neutrality. It's just, it goes to Facebook and it goes to where it's supposed to go, or other things depending on what happens. But this is like the beginning of the internet, really slow. It was just text, there was no images. I'm gonna go, these are getting more specific, but these are the packets going through internet service providers, and then eventually internet service providers also became cable providers, like Comcast does both. A lot of them do both, and this is good for them because they make a lot of money. But the issue is then they have a monopoly, at least in America, which means that they control the market. Like five guys, what they're called fat cats, can sit around a table and basically decide what they're gonna do. Like, all raise prices, and you'll have to pay them because there's nothing cheaper. So this is just a way of saying, like, retail stores, software companies, into your internet service provider, and then back out to you guys, or us, all of us. And that's how we get data. But what the issue is that as things got more and more bandwidth heavy, they became harder and harder to service. Now, one thing that's happened is, I'm sure you guys have heard of torrenting things. And that has a very negative connotation, which I actually don't like, because torrenting itself is not particularly illegal. The illegal part is that you're downloading copyright files, music, videos, whatever. But if you download something that's free, or if you download something that's provided through a torrent, that's legal and that's fair. And that's called P2P. It's person to person. I think it talks about it. Maybe not. Okay, so, anyways, due to the internet's architecture, which is a structure, there was no discrimination. So, a package from John has just the same amount of weight as a package from Netflix, or a package from YouTube, whatever. They're all the same. That's the neutrality part of it. Now, 22 FPS. Anyways, yeah, content created by an average person in the form of video, audio, or software, content created by traditional media corporations, they all go in equally. The issue is that the TV is leading to money, is leading to lawsuits against people using existing technology. So what's happening are people are being sued for using the technology that might not be legal, might be, but isn't necessarily what they're after. So I'm going to read this. Some traditional content providers failed to adapt to the new technologies. This combined with the profits of a well-established business model that relied on exclusive distribution, similar to cable TV. Because cable is just from them to you. There's no interaction. There's just lists of channels. There's no, you can't create your own channel. I mean, I suppose you could, but it has to be approved and all this thing. Similar to cable TV, conflicted with the open nature of the internet. As a result, traditional content creators took legal action against users and internet service providers, while they also lobbied for stronger anti-piracy laws. So anti-piracy is the file sharing, music sharing, game videos, and modification to the current architecture of the internet. This was the first serious threat to the neutrality of the networks. So now internet is getting wireless. Your phone has a wireless adapter in it. Your computer probably has a wireless adapter in it. Everything over the airwaves. And that's good. I think it's good. But this, you can download anything from anywhere. and that's dangerous for some people, or they're scared by that, I suppose, because they don't want you downloading illegal things. But there's actually a lot of interesting studies on how, like, okay, I have an example. There was a band that sold really well in the U.S. or really well in a different country, but didn't sell very well in one specific country. They didn't get a lot of people buying their albums. But the strange thing was a lot of people were downloading it, although illegally, downloading it in that area. And they're like, we're going to go on tour. Should we go to this place? And some people were thinking, no, nobody's bought your music there, nobody's going to listen. But there's been a lot of downloads there. So although technically they didn't buy the music, they were listening to it. And when they went to play a concert there, tons of people came. So there's actually a lot of conflicts with that as well. Whoops. But I'm not saying that's fine. Don't download illegal things. Now, here's the deal. The corporations are now understanding, like, oh, internet is open. How will we fix this problem? Throw money at it. It's their desire to keep their monopoly, their control over the business, in addition to anger the executives and shareholders that see the open internet as a threat. The big players are now buying internet service providers. If you can't fight them, buy them, investing everything they have to control the pipes. Yeah, so then let's get into this. So, like I said, John is the average man. He comes out with a great online business idea. This media company already makes millions with their exclusive content. John's business is doing great. He delivers his content to anyone that wants to visit his website, johndoe.com. Works fine. Media company sees John's being more successful than they can handle. Their greed makes them buy the companies that control the ISP, or control the pipes, ISPs. On the other hand, internet service providers themselves feel people are getting rich at their expense. They feel that they own the networks. Now, here's where the issue is. If we didn't have a neutral net, John could wake up one morning and get an email from his internet service provider saying, hey, your content does not qualify for the highest level of delivery. You have to pay an extra fee if you want the same speed, or you have to downgrade your speed. So John can either pay for the same amount for the same content, pay more for the same content, or even worse content, or he can just pay for more bandwidth, or he can not pay and have his content degraded when he should be paying the same price. Now, this is an issue for John because, how is he going to pay? He doesn't have, or he's making a startup, so it's not like his, oh shoot, I just broke this. It's not like his revenue flow is particularly constant, but at the same time, he wants to continue his business, right? So he's going to pay him. So he gets less, oh shit, okay. He gets less money from the ISPs, or he gets less money from his business. Plus, on the other side, the consumers are like, oh, this guy's stuff is getting worse, or less, or not as high definition, or doesn't look as good. Well, then they're going to get worse content as well. So, we're back to the whole net neutrality thing. We have to basically keep the internet open so that we can have better content at a faster speed. And I'm sure you guys have all come to the point sometime where you want to watch a YouTube video and it's loading and it's taking a little while, but it's like, okay, it's just a few minutes. Now, think about this. What if you go on YouTube and you know, like, oh, every video I'm going to watch has at least 15 minutes of wait starting because my internet service provider has made it slower? Well, that's not good. And I'm sure, at least personally, I really, really don't like to wait for stuff like, well, for YouTube like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that they voted in favor of the rules that would protect the net neutrality. The White House is very in favor of it. I think we should, stay on the path, I guess.